All right, everybody, it's time for another Off the Top Sportscast. I'm John, and that is Roy, and we are here for another fun episode. Roy, I've got a nice topic for us today. The topic is the big stories this year, and did they get it right or did they get it wrong? We're going to talk a little bit about the big stories. You know, 2023 is almost over, if you can believe that. And there was a lot of talking and heads talking about different things. And we want to see, did they get it right? The first story I got for you, Roy. Aaron Rodgers, this almighty savior of the New York Jets. Did they get that right or did they get that wrong?
Well, the reality is we don't know, right?
Mm.
The reality, we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Because he played a matter of, he didn't even finish one. So my opinion, even before he started the season,
Right.
they got it wrong. It didn't pan out. It wasn't going to pan out. And really, he's better off just to stay at Green Bay, retire out Green Bay, because realistically, the only other very few places do I think he would have panned out, maybe, is someone that had a lot, even though I think the Jets are on a good path, I don't think they're on the path. Think about maybe if you'd have played for Tampa. Look at what Baker Mayfield at Tampa, right? Maybe,
Perfect.
maybe even going to, even though they don't have the whole team, but maybe even Belichick could have done something over there with it. And maybe I would even throw the Raiders with him better at the Raiders. I think would have done better. And maybe there's some others, but I think those two teams right off the bat, I think he could have maybe done something great. And even third, even though they got Tua, maybe Miami. But the Jets,
for me, they jumped the gun. That's all that happened here with the Jets. They were on a good path. They had two good draft classes that were doing well. Their defense was looking good. They had a rookie running back, a rookie. They were on their way. They just weren't where they thought they were. And they tried to get there by free agents, by moves. But really what they tried to do was kowtow to this guy. And that's not how they got there. They got there by making solid football moves, not by just thinking about one guy. So by bringing in Aaron Rodgers, taking away the picks, to me, I said, man, they just put themselves back 5 years. And they didn't prepare for the most foreseeable thing that could happen, which is that a 39-year-old quarterback gets hurt. The next big thing that happened, and it happened in New York. Should we pay Daniel Jones? Should we not pay Daniel Jones? What they ended up doing, should we pay Saquon? Should we not? What they ended up doing was paying Daniel Jones $40 million a year and franchise tagging Saquon, which dragged along, and then they gave Saquon some incentives, and then he came to play. So what do you think about that storyline? Did the Giants get it right, or did they get it wrong?
Again, another one that you go, well, what if? You know what I mean? The Giants were not a bad team last year. They surprised everyone. But I am kind of a guy. Okay, Daniel Jones. What else you got? You know what I mean? That he was good. I say sign him. I'm not into kowtowing to Saquon. He's always injured. I would have been like, listen, man, you want to sit out? Sit out. You want to play? I'm going to trade you before. If you're good now, I'm going to trade you and think, oh, what could happen? I'm going to get maybe a number 3, third round pick, 2. I don't know. But you know what? I'm going to get rid of him. He's not worth the headache that there is. You know what? The Buffalo picked up Fournette. I would have picked up Fournette. And there's probably some others out there and go, you know what? I'm going to bring them in. And Saquon, I'm trading you off to get some picks. I don't know if somebody would have traded him a player. I don't know. but I would have tried to get some picks. Maybe even tried to get them go down to Miami, which they probably would have taken them, and try to pick up some of that running back and do kind of swap for swap. They got some fast two guys down there, but I'm 50-50. But if I was to say plus or minus, it looks like they got it wrong.
Yeah, as far as Daniel Jones, it was a weird thing because I thought they were fighting with themselves. There was nobody else in the Daniel Jones sweepstakes. It was like who's going out there trying to get Daniel Jones. So what I would have done,
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
I would have franchised, or I would have done that. There's like a full franchise tag, and there's like, I can't remember what it's called, but like a half franchise tag, which is if you want this player, you got to pay them a contract, or I can pay them that contract. I have the option. And if I don't want to pay the contract, you got to give me a first round pick.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called right now, but that's what I would have done with Daniel Jones. I would have moved on from Saquon. I would have moved on. I would have traded Saquon last year.
Yeah. Yeah. But he's always hurt. So when?
But he was healthy and running and doing well last year. You got to sell these guys when they're high, not when they're low, being picky about their contract.
Yeah.
They got this wrong, and they got this wrong for one reason. They did not have self-awareness. They did not understand who they were and where they were. You got to remember, Daboll came from the Bills, and Joe Schoen came from the Bills. Those were both our offensive coordinator and our the general manager for the Giants was our assistant general manager. They were trying to do what the Bills did, and they did it in the first year. They drafted well, and they started shedding guys right away, and they got cap space. If you remember, the first year with the Bills, Sean McDermott, they went to the playoffs. What did they do the next year? They didn't re-sign Tyrod because they went to the playoffs. They knew what Tyrod was. They let him go. They let a whole bunch of guys go. They let Shady go. They let guys go to get better in the future. So we went to the playoffs. We missed that year, and now we've been to the playoffs every year since. And they missed that part of understanding who they were and where they were in the rebuild. So I think they got that wrong. And now I'm afraid that they put themselves back 2-3 years or whatever it's going to be. So I agree with you there. The next big story, the unicorn Victor Wembanyama. Roy, there's nothing to say about the storyline from Victor Wembanyama. They said he's going to be the best thing since LeBron, better than LeBron, sliced bread, mayo, because I'm fat. Roy, what do you think about Victor Wembanyama?
I like the reference to mayo. I'm a real big helmet. This is the key. It's early.
Yes.
But Pop is happy, right? Pop has had some great big men that have taken to championships. Right now, do I say he is better, gonna be as good? Listen, it took Embiid some time, you know what I mean? It's taking these big guys, some of them time to fill out. Even Howard, yeah, he was good. Shaq, good, but he wasn't good enough to take the Magic to the championship. Once he needed that little time, but they all showed glimpses of greatness. I think he's my biggest thing with big, lanky men. Can they stay healthy? Even Bol, has showed some glimmer, man, better than his dad, and some good. I liked him. I hated when the Magic got rid of him.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say right now, the kid is the truth. You know what I mean? He looks like he can play. The scary part is if he's playing like this now, in 2 years, given, let's say this year plus 2, 3, can they fill out his frame? Can they give him a little bit of a this Kareem hook, you know what I mean? Elijah one, back turn, fade. Woo. And if that hits, I don't think people will remember LeBron.
Ooh, wow. Those big words. I like that. Well, let me just say this. As far as the hype, he has currently living up to all the hypes of his skill set. What they said he could do, he can do it. Shooting, defending, dribbling, it's quite the sight to see.
Yeah, I think so. It's amazing. It's really amazing, some of the stuff.
I'm really impressed on how he controls his lanky body, because that tells me a lot. Like when, these tall, lanky guys, I was looking at him the other day and they threw him an alley-oop in the lane. I think what gets guys hurt is when they're leaning towards the basket and you come down and you're awkwardly placed. Vic is going straight up and kind of levitating, and it's really interesting to see. I think he has a chance to live up to his height, and I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see what he does this season, how good of a rookie season he has, and I'm excited to see, what the future holds, because right now he's literally working on raw talent. He doesn't even know the game of basketball yet. So that's impressive. You know what I mean? He's just working on talent. He's not really working on strategies and knowing the NBA game. He's a kid out there playing basketball. So I agree. It's going to be a fun basketball season to watch for sure.
Yeah. And when I look at it too, I think, man, 5 more years, a lot of the guys with the big names are going to be gone. And then I'm looking at the next 5 years, who's coming up. I really don't see the next Steph. I don't see the next, LeBron. I don't see the next, who else would I see? Luka. It could be some of these guys are gone and he could be all alone.
All right, Roy. So what we're going to do now, the next one is going to be one of the biggest stories that really has taken college by storm and the world by storm. People that never talked about college football have been talking about college football, and that is Deion to Colorado. What do you think about Deion to Colorado?
What did I think about Deion in football? I thought it was good for football. I thought it was good. Jackson State. Oh, Jackson State. I kind of looked a little bit fine. What's going on? But I really wasn't interested until he went to Colorado. Really a big name, a big money college, beautiful college. I said, whoa, to Colorado. When Florida State was up, I kind of was like, why not Deion? Again, not Deion, the coach. That's not the reason. Deion, the hype man. That is exactly what it's been. Hasn't been about his coaching prowess. He could play football. Doesn't mean he's going to turn around and be a great coach. Yeah, you could get great coaches around you. But what he was is a great hype man for Colorado. What happened? Merch went up. Tickets went up. The recruits came in. He was getting people, recruits to commit. People talking about Colorado. What did Colorado do last year? Nothing. They weren't the program that they were. Now look at them. Have they had some losses? Yeah. But the games are being televised. No one was televised in Colorado. They're being televised. They're being seen, and they're being current and talked about. Is he going to go to a national championship next year? No. It's going to take him some time. And if he stays at Colorado and doesn't go to another program, maybe a bigger type program, but Colorado is one of the big boys out there. I think he should stay. Beautiful area, beautiful school, and they throwing out everything. The red carpet. They threw out everything. Every big buck you can throw. I think Deion to Colorado was a touchdown for the community, touchdown for the school, touchdown in every way.
I gotta agree, man. And even bigger than just a football portion, as an ambassador for football, he has done what Nick Saban couldn't do it. Even though he was winning all the time, he's got that gruff exterior. Nobody was in love with the college experience through Nick Saban's eyes. You know, they liked it through Urban Meyer. He was kind of younger. The old ball coach, Bobby Bowden, you know, oh, that was enduring. But through this new era, this new generation, he's the first of a new breed of coach that has an agenda, tells you what his agenda is, and then goes out and does it. A lot of people don't tell you their agenda because they don't want you to call them when they fail. Deion's not worried about that. What he's done in Colorado, to me, has been miraculous. Using the rules that the NCAA has in place and using them to their full capacity, getting talent, telling these guys, listen, you're going to beat me. You're going to be better than me, treating them like they're kids. And has he done everything right? I didn't like how he started with the kind of calling out his players in front of the nation because they put that video out. He explained it later that he, before that video came out, that he was like, listen, I'm bringing my luggage with me, and some of y'all might want to transfer. That he was going around and during meetings and stuff, guys were goofing off, playing music while the coaches were talking, had their headphones off or headphones on. They were doing a whole bunch of things that he thought were so unacceptable because even though he's a new age coach, he's old school football coach. You know what I mean? That's why he came off the way he did. And when he explained it like that, I went, okay, now that I can see, that I can get behind. So I think he's been good for Colorado. I think he's been good for NCAA. And I'm really interested to see when his kids leave, what kind of quarterbacks and corners that he's going to be able to bring in when they know they don't have to compete with his kids. That might be even a bigger, different level.
I think it's going to be scary because a lot of them know. And let's talk about, even though Deion Sanders doesn't want his son to go, the pros, but he's already projected in the top 10 quarterbacks to go out. So I think it's going to be like, hey, there's a spot. But again, I ain't mad at him. Do what you got to do. He had to take something from the bottom, become relevant really quick. So again, Deion to Colorado, a hit.
All right. Well, guys, right now that's going to be it for today. We might do one of these again and bigger stories, different stories. You guys tell us what stories you want to hear.
Remember, we appreciate your comments. Go subscribe, hit that like button, give us that thumbs up, write your comment. And we're just trying to grow the channel, guys. We're just having fun. Anything you want to hear, listen, comment on the bottom. Talk your trash. Talk what's on the top of your head. We don't care. We love it. But remember, one thing we're always going to say.
Talk to a stranger about sports today.